So this is our first time making an attempt at doing a movie review, which is something I've been looking forward to doing a lot, but I was curious to see how a movie review would go. And you guys can let me know what you guys think. Would you prefer like a detailed summary, breakdown of the video, and we'll summarize the movie, talk about the things that we didn't like in the summary, or if we can just give our freestyle opinion of the movie, talk about our least favorite things and favorite things.
Yeah.
Let me know what you guys think about those ideas. So today, the movie that we are going to attempt to review is Train to Busan 2, the sequel, Peninsula. And we're just going to give you our thoughts on the movie and just go over a couple of the outstanding parts of the movie that sat with us the longest for good or bad reasons. And let's just go ahead and try to start off.
Okay, so I think Train to Busan, first of all, I had waited for such a long time to see it.
Yes.
Because Train to Busan 1 was absolutely freaking phenomenal.
Love
and I am a horror movie junkie and have always been since I was young. And horror, zombie movies are like the #1 movies that I like.
Yeah.
So Train to Busan 1 was fantastic because I think what I liked about it so much was, one of the things that I liked about it was the contortions that they did.
Zombies,
and I think it was real people doing
that was real.
And so the way they was contorting their bodies was just unreal to me. And I was like, man, these people really, now that's character. That's like getting into your character.
You're giving life to the zombies.
Yes, like I was like, that's freaking dope. So in part 2, I didn't have that. I didn't get any of that. It fell so flat on its face to me, but I have to try to, it's so hard for me to try to pull myself away from comparing, contrasting it from if I never had saw Train to Busan 1. If I never watched Train to Busan 1, what would I have thought about this particular zombie movie? I think that I would have been like, it's cool. As far as zombies, it was more like I Am Legend. If any of you guys have seen I Am Legend, it was
without being good.
Yeah, it was. The character development wasn't there. I didn't fall in love with the characters like I did in Train to Busan 1. And it just, I don't know, as a horror movie, it just didn't scare me. It didn't creep me out. It didn't make me go, it just fell flat.
That's fair. I think if I look at Train to Busan 2 Peninsula, as a standalone movie, I still hate it.
It sucked donkey nuts.
Just give it a listen.
I was waiting for him to just be good because he seems so kind.
Just on its own, really. If you really look at it objectively, give it a good opportunity to stand alone on its own.
Yes.
It really, really, really sucked donkey butt. And listen, I'm not gonna, put it out there as if I hated it so much, because I like.
It was like as a standalone. It sucked.
But that's just going to show you just how disappointed I was watching it in comparison to watching the first one.
Right.
And like I said, when you connect the two, I hate it more. And that's the thing with it. Yeah. And it's one of the reasons, remember, Annabelle Comes Home, I'll do a movie review on that. I will. I'll do it. Don't you worry. Don't you sit there. Oh, I got some words for you. Look at how high my pants are. Supposed to be real. When you look at the movie compared to Train to Busan, it just doesn't compare in any way. It's a totally different movie. None of the characters are the same. And the frustrating thing about it is that you have this army guy character who's so bland. He's really bland. You want to like him, but he doesn't give you anything to like except that he kind of can shoot a little bit. And he can kind of fight a little bit. But it's like...
But he wasn't even like...
He's not a likable protagonist.
Okay, so like in the first one, I hate to keep going back to the first one, but you gotta have to.
But you have to.
Because the one dude was beastie, like the big boy who
the dad. The dad. Not the other dad, the one, the father of the pregnant wife.
The pregnant wife, he was a beastie dude, and he was going to war.
Punching zombies in the face.
He was in the military more than a military dude.
Yes, this dude he's
just there.
Almost, he's about to be a father. He's just on the train, but he's going to war, tying phone books around his wrist.
Yes.
And he's beating zombies up hand to hand.
Yes.
And even the father the father
was
in that
for
movie.
his daughter.
And that's so crazy because we're talking about Train to Busan. We'll have to do a review about Train to Busan. Because we have to stay focused.
Yes.
Because I don't want the video to be too long,
Okay.
but I want to stay focused. But you kind of do have to compare and contrast, but I don't want to talk too much about Train to Busan.
Standalone.
But
Peninsula.
Peninsula, like I said, it's a he's not a dislikable character, but he's not likable either. He's bland. That's why I call him a bland character, because there's nothing to him. He hardly has any lines in the movie for real. Like if you think about a main character,
He doesn't.
you know who had more lines than him? The little girl who was driving.
Yes.
She had more lines than him. But it was weird.
She was likable.
She was likable. Her and the little sister with the little toy
they
car.
were adorable.
They were likable. They were really the only likable characters in this movie.
And they should have wrapped more of the story around them two.
But they tried to. But you started it with military guy and his family and his post-trauma and coming over as an immigrant and his brother is a coward and this and that. Like you took this character and this is your protagonist when it shouldn't have been. It should have been the girl who's driving or the little sister.
Yes.
You should have made them your main characters if you were going to take this guy and throw him off to the side and go into a completely different plot line with these characters and just focus on them for so long and then make us care about these two little kids, but nothing else.
Yeah.
Because, so I'm trying to go through the movie chronologically, talking about things from the beginning to the end that I didn't like or liked. There's very little that I liked about this movie because they didn't do anything new. So I can't commend a movie for doing something I've seen a bunch of other movies do.
If I watch a zombie movie, I want to watch a zombie movie.
Right.
And this was more of
Bad
conflict between groups of humans.
During zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, kind of like
thing.
The Walking Dead. Like The Walking Dead did towards the end.
Yeah.
And that's why I stopped watching The Walking Dead. If I want to see zombies, I want to see somebody get their guts pulled out. I mean, that's why
and you want to see some people fighting some zombies.
Yeah, cutting
going with the swords
off, right?
and
like,
doing what they can to survive.
Exactly.
You want to see that. So
I don't want to see people. If that's what it's going to be, don't make it part two of
this. Make it its own, which I think they tried to do because they just called it Peninsula. They didn't call it Train to Busan 2. I think they were trying to go along the lines of a standalone zombie film, but like I said, even as a standalone zombie film, it wasn't
a very good zombie film.
Like I said, one of the things I hate is that they use primarily CG zombies.
Yes.
In the movie, they're CG zombies, which is like if you're not familiar with CG zombies, they did it in World War Z as well as I Am Legend. I Am Legend was one of the first zombie movies, so-called zombie movies, that used CG zombies, but their zombies in I Am Legend actually looked pretty good.
World War Z
and World War Z
was good.
Didn't do a bad job because even though they had a lot of CG zombies, they had a lot of practical zombies too.
They did.
Now, don't get me wrong, Peninsula had a decent amount of practical zombies. One of the zombie parts in the movie where the brother was captured by these people and the zombies come out of this gate and they're all in this amalgamation ball and they drag themselves out.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what is that? Can somebody explain that to me? Is that what they do? They huddle up for warmth? Or no, they don't explain that. They literally just walk out and they're grouped into this disappointing ball.
I was like, did they eat each other?
Did they eat each other, or are they fusing?
It was almost like The Thing. Remember
yeah, it was like The Thing. It was just like that, and that's how they crawled out like that, and they're all in this big ball. And then the brother's captured, and they're running around, jumping on him, starting to eat him up. And the brother, he's sitting there, he's all shell shocked and he's scared.
What was it for? You know what I mean?
We don't know.
It was
everything in the story seemed like it was just the movie just seemed like it was happening. There was no goal for real. Like, the goal initially was to get this truck with millions of dollars on it because these guys were immigrants and they were living in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And they were trying to give themselves a better life. Yeah. So they go into where Busan, I believe, is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Or they go to somewhere that's a really infected area that's been abandoned.
Yeah.
Where people still are leaving, but they've been abandoned.
Yeah.
So they go in to get this truck. They get stranded. His crew is killed. He believes his brother's dead. His brother's not. He's captured. The truck itself has a very important plot beat to the story because the truck ends up being what is going to save people. You know, if you get the truck with the millions and you get it to this dock, you get to get out of there. So everybody's trying to kind of fight over this truck. It just
at the end, they just try to pull at your heartstrings.
You know what they tried to do? They tried to recreate that scene with the little girl and her dad.
In number one.
They tried to recreate that scene like 5 times in this movie.
Oh my gosh.
And the entire last 25 minutes was nothing but sad music, somebody dead. You didn't care because you didn't know him. the old guy dies. Well, for these, there's an old guy. He's like the granddad of the little girl. He dies.
He was in it for 2 seconds.
He's got like 4 lines before he dies.
He was like the personal Star
and they're
Trek.
crying. They're crying over his body. There's zombies supposedly coming, but they're crying over his body for like a literal, actual. You're watching the movie for like 4 minutes.
And I was just like, they did not have him in the movie deep enough to have this emotional scene. Like he was literally a Star Trek person. You know how on Star Trek when you see the new guy in Star Trek?
He's literally the new guy got killed.
You don't have any emotion for the new guy on Star Trek.
Yeah.
You know he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Like this dude in this movie was like the new guy on Star Trek.
He wasn't in the movie at all.
He was in it for like 30 seconds.
He was hardly in the movie, and then he shows up and then he gets killed by a bad guy who we didn't know why he was a bad guy. Like we didn't understand why he's a bad guy.
Because they pointed it out. And then it was like, is he the baby daddy?
Because we didn't know, like there was a thing where he knew the mom, and we didn't know he knew the mom. Because we're like, where does he know her from? He's not the dad, because the dad, we saw him earlier in the movie, so it can't be you. Maybe it is. I don't know.
It was so weird. It was so weird. Yeah.
They had the fake tears all over the face. And like I said, they were trying so hard to recreate that. And that wasn't, they did that again with the mom. The mom gets shot in the leg, and she tells the military guy, earlier in the movie, she tells the military guy after they find him and save him, she's like, hey, I'm gonna need you to do me a favor later since I saved your life. And we're like, well, she's gonna die. Because clearly, why would you just randomly ask dude, I'm gonna need you to do me a favor? And then, when it comes time for her to supposedly die, after she got shot in the leg, she's like, take my kids and run. That's the favor I needed you to do for me.
And how did you know you was gonna need that favor?
How? But that's the writing in there. So the military guy takes her. She's like, I can't run. She gets up, grabs an assault rifle, and starts running. After she tells him to go, she starts running, and then she's turning around and shooting zombies after she ran. Then she runs and gets into a truck, and we'll talk about, which I know you're gonna talk about. She gets into a truck, and literally, I don't know if this was 10 minutes long, because this was the longest part of the movie. It's one of the main things I remember, but man, it took so long. They're at the dock. There's an evacuation team, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, whatever. They're at the dock. They're in the helicopter. We can't wait. Let's go. They're like, no, we're waiting on our mom. The lady's like, no, we can't wait. We have to leave right now. They're coming. And the military guy's literally just standing there. He's literally just standing there, not being a protagonist at all. He's just standing there for, I'm telling you, this part had to have gone on for 10 minutes. It had to. The mom, she jumped in the truck. She's got the gun with her, and the zombies are all beating on the truck. And she points the gun at her head.
Then it goes back to the daughter.
And the kids, apparently they can see her. She's super far away. I don't know how they can see her, but they show this silhouette of the mom with the gun on her chin, and they're like this, and they're all, now here comes again. Sad music starts playing, and they're crying for another 4 or 5 minutes. This is what kills me. The Red Cross, Blue Shield, whatever lady, she's holding the kids, and she's like, she did the right thing. She made the correct sacrifice. The toughest of decisions. That's in the movie. She says it in the movie as the mom is sitting here for I don't know how long, while the zombies beating on the thing. They can see the silhouette. She's like, she made the tough decision. She really did. Holding the kids. And it's so weird. It's so weird. And then the guy, he's sitting there having a brain blast.
Brain blast! Give me your lunch!
Because he's like, oh, my brother, I lost him. My sister, I lost him. His wife, I lost him. And then this takes so long, it's frustrating. And so in this part, like I said, the ending is really frustrating to me. Because he goes to save the mom, they get out of there, and then the Red Cross Blue Shield lady, whatever her name is, she keeps talking. She keeps saying words, and her lines are so badly acted that it really ruins the ending. It really ruins, and that
a bad actor can ruin a movie.
The ending is supposed to be powerful, but you don't care. You don't care.
I just really wanted the movie to be over.
Honestly, I felt the same way. In this movie, there's hardly anything that happens that's very interesting. The car chase, I was so bored. I know it was supposed to be entertaining, but the CG zombies just was not doing it for me. They look so computer generated. They look worse than the I Am Legend zombies today. I could go back and watch that.
28 weeks later, when they actually was chasing the car, was humans.
Yeah. And
Y'all couldn't have no humans
the
do this?
I Am Legend zombies. What is I Am Legend? 2006?
Yeah, or something.
Those I Am Legend zombies look better than these zombies.
Listen, it fell so flat. I'm out 1 to 10 out of 1 to 10 stars. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
I would give it a 2. Like I said, there's hardly anything that I can think of to give it like positive remarks.
I'm gonna give it a 4 because the beginning had me thinking that it was gonna be the bomb. Not the beginning where they were just talking and I didn't understand, but the part when they were on the boat.
Oh yeah, the part where they were on the boat, I had high hopes.
I had high hopes.
But that's the only reason why I would give it a 2.
It made me give it a 4.
It's because of that.
I'm gonna give it a 4 because the boat scene and then the scene where the little girl's in the car. I like that. I just like them too because I was just like, these two are really good actors.
They're the only likable characters in the movie.
Yes, and so I'm gonna give it a 4 just because 2 young actors were the bomb.
Let me know if you've seen this movie. What do you think? Were you hype about this movie coming out like we were? Were you disappointed when you watched it? Have you seen it?
So disappointed.
If you haven't seen it, I recommend checking it out because we gave out spoilers, but we really didn't because we don't know the names of the characters. We're telling you the granddad died. You don't know who that is, and you'll start watching it. You'll run into it and be like, oh, that guy. Like, it would take you half the movie to realize who we're talking about. I wouldn't tell you not to waste your time watching this movie because if you were excited to watch it, then still watch it.
Well, then watch it, but
well,
good luck with that.
If you watch this and you're like, well, that sucks that they didn't enjoy it.
But that'd be good because sometimes when you see bad reviews, you're just like, it wasn't that bad. They were tripping.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you see a really sucky review and you watch it, it's better for you.
Yeah.
So maybe this
movie to lower your
better
expectations.
Yes.
You know.
So maybe you'll enjoy it.
Definitely do that.
Enjoy.
If you watch it, lower your expectations.
Enjoy.
This is not Train to Busan 2. This is Peninsula. Appreciate you guys coming out. Hope
Enjoy.
you had a good time. And I'll see you in the next video. Let me know if you like these kind of videos because I hope to do a lot more of these. So, peace.